What's up everyone, it's a knife seller here, and today I'm going to be doing a video talking about the knives that I got at Blade Show and what I thought about the show and my first time ever going. So the knives that I picked up that are on the table right here, this is the American Blade Works Model 1 V6 and the ProTech Malibu. And so these are two knives that I've been very interested to get. The V6, if you guys don't know what this is, Michael Martin, he runs American Blade Works, and he just kind of takes this same model of knife and slowly improves on it over 6 versions of it. So this is the 6th one, and it's getting pretty close to perfect, pretty close to as good as you can get. And so I'm going to be doing a video on that. I think it'll be a really fun review to just kind of give my input on it. But for the ProTech Malibu, this is a knife that has had a whole lot of hype from the start. I think it came out last year and a bunch of people had it as their best knife of 2020. They didn't really sit in stock in shelves or on shelves, so I didn't really eventually pick one up. It's one that I wanted to try and get, so I'm happy to get it and be on the lookout for my first impressions on both of these and then my full review on both of these. So, my thoughts about my first Blade Show. I had a great time, it was really fun, and I would like to do it again in the future. I live in Kentucky, so we had to drive down to Atlanta, so it was kind of like a 6-hour drive, and I just stayed there one day because I had like a graduation I had to go to, and so I would like to stay longer, but I did get to see all the knives I wanted to see in that one day. But staying longer, I'd probably talk to more people and have to be more social, which isn't really my thing, but I still would probably enjoy it. So I got to see a bunch of knives. I had a really good time. I did get the early bird tickets, and I'd highly suggest that in the future. I forget what they costed. But if you are that person that is gonna get the early bird tickets and think that you're gonna be the first one in there and just have all the knives to yourself, that might not be the case. There are people that camp out the day before. I don't know how long people camp out. But when I got there, the early birds, there was a pretty long line of them already, and overall I was fine with it. I wasn't going for things like the Magma Cut Sabenza or the Mini Arius. That was a lottery anyway, but it wasn't my most, there was a lot of controversy that came up about these knives selling out, because what happens is people with vendor passes, so vendors of the show, they are able to buy the knives earlier because they are obviously there setting up for the show. So for example, I was an early bird pass, and we weren't in the front of the line, but when I went in and got to the Chris Reeve Knives booth, I was just curious. I wasn't gonna buy a Magma Cut Sabenza just because I would like to try Magma Cut, but I wouldn't like to try it for $450 or $500 or however much it was. And when I got there was probably a line of 20 people around the booth, and there was one left. That was what Tim Reeve was saying. So, it's one of those things where I bet a decent amount of them sold out the day before, and a bunch of people got mad about it. If I was doing that, I would get pretty frustrated about it. But the thing is, now I know that, if you're going for the hottest knife there and you're camping out, there's a good chance that you might not get it just because people might buy it the day before. One thing that I really enjoyed about Blade Show was just being able to try out so many knives that I've just, seen on YouTube or something. Because there's a whole lot of knives that I just haven't been able to try out. Maybe just because I'm not as interested in them or because they're expensive. For example, I got to try out the Koenig Arius, and that was really cool. That knife just felt super good. It wasn't my favorite thing, I did like it, but I feel like I like the Sabenza just a little bit more from using it. Obviously, I'll have to get my hands on the Arius again sometime soon and be able to use it and sharpen it. But I tried the non-flipper Arius, and one thing about that, I couldn't really thumb roll it as good. I might have just been messing up, but you could Spidey flick it really easy. But it was just cool to try a bunch of knives that I had always wanted to try. For example, I tried the Strider SNG, the Spyderco Drunken, the Payson, just a bunch of Microtechs, the Combat Trudon. Oh, it was funny. I was at the Microtech, or it was the GP Knives booth, and I was like, oh, I want to try a Combat Trudon. So I tried one, and I opened it, and then I felt like such a bum because I couldn't close the thing with my little baby thumbs. So I was struggling over there. And then later, a couple days ago, I saw in the Microtech fan page on Facebook, or the Microtech group, someone asked, are these Combat Trudons just why are they so hard to, open and close? Are my thumbs just weak? And the comments were hilarious. The people were like, hit it with your purse, that'll help, and wrap your skirt around your hand and then get more grip on it. It was just funny. I'm glad that I've never had to ask that question and get flamed for it, but I did feel like kind of a bum. I did get to try some cool Microtechs. I was going to get a SOCOM, but the manual that they had was only partially serrated, and I would like to try a serrated knife just because I feel like I would enjoy it, but I didn't really want to get it. I was spending $300, so I wasn't sure that I wanted to spend it on a serrated knife, but the SOCOM felt really good, and I really liked that about it. I got to try some Medford knives, tried the Slim Mini Marauder. That one felt better than pretty much everyone there. Medfords, I don't really think that they're going to be my thing. Got to meet Greg Medford, or I didn't really talk to him much, but he was handing out free shirts, so I took the free shirt. It's kind of a bad shirt, but or I don't know. It's just a shirt that I wouldn't really wear out in public because people would be like, "What are you wearing?" But I do like getting a free shirt. You can never have too many shirts for like mowing or painting or something like that. So I enjoyed that. But a lot of the Medfords, I tried the full-size Marauder. That thing was just a chunk, and so many of them, I don't know what it is, but they're just not comfortable. Like, I feel like of the big three, Hinder, Strider, Chris Reeve knives, they're pretty much all really, really good in hand, and nobody really argues with that. But Medford, it was just like the titanium is just kind of sharp. I don't know. I'll have to try one out. If I tried one out, it'd be the Slim Mini Marauder. My thing is, I'm going to try out first. I'll probably try out the Hinders, the XM18, the FireTac, Strider SNG, CRK, and Cosi. Just all these knives in that $450 to $500 range that I would try over the Medford. So, wasn't my favorite thing in the world. My thoughts on the SNG, it felt pretty good, was very comfortable in hand in that, in that choked up grip like this. The action wasn't the best, but I didn't really care about it that much, and overall it felt good. I think it was a gunner grip, the one that I tried, but there were so many Strider fanboys, and now I know what people are talking about when they see Strider fanboys. I mean, it was like a cult. Like, they all had on their Strider hats and their Strider shirts, and it was just funny listening to them. I just really enjoyed listening to some of the people there. Like, I was at the Hogue Knives booth, and I was just kind of blending in, I wanted to try the new Deca, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But these guys were feeling the Deca, and they're like, man, that feels so smooth. Is that on bearings? Is that on bearings? And I was like, should I say no, it's on washers? I was just kind of sitting, like, standing out to the side, but I didn't. I just let them ask the guy and him tell him that it's on washers. And then then they were like, oh, the detent on that is so good. And I was so close to just saying, actually, there isn't a detent on Axis Lock knives. It's just the tension of the Omega springs that's pulling the blade in. But I figured, nobody likes to know it all. And I'd just be doing that to kind of get on their nerves and be funny. But, it's just fun listening to other people talk about knives. I just had a good time with that. About the Deca, my thoughts on that knife. That was, I don't know if you've seen it, but they had a Blade Show exclusive edition. I believe it had a coated blade with carbon fiber handle scales and a tritium insert on the able lock, and it had titanium hardware. The tritium, that's not really my thing, but it was kind of cool to see. They actually put a deep carry pocket clip on it, which I was impressed. I don't have some of my other knives with me right now, so I can't really show my Deca. But they did put a deep carry pocket clip on it, which I haven't seen yet. So I thought that was cool because a bunch of people were wanting that from the start. But the thing about the Deca, the reason that I didn't buy it was $300 there. I don't know how expensive tritium is. I assume it's expensive, but I think that might be like the MSRP price, or, what you see before the retailers knock it down, if you guys know what I'm talking about, like on knife websites. And the regular Deca that I have, is $150, and a lot of times they're on sale and you can get them for like $120. So I thought that that was really, really highly priced, but it sure did look cool. It had titanium hardware, which I really liked, and tritium is just kind of a cool little thing to have. But wasn't my favorite thing in the world, at least that price tag on there. I got to try out the TRM Atom and the TRM Neutron and the Axis Lock one that they have. Those, I almost bought the Atom because they actually had some for sale there, which I was really happy with. You know, I tried to get an Atom close to a year ago, and it sold out. You know, I'm pretty decent. I'm not trying to brag. It's kind of a weird thing to brag about buying knives, but I feel like on sprint run drops, if I know the time that it's dropping, I can pretty much get the knife, no doubt about it. Never really failed when I know what time the knife is dropping. Now, if it's just like randomly it just spits out on a website, then you get sent an email. I don't really get knives like that, just because a lot of times I'm doing something. If I know the time if I know what time it drops ahead of time, I would, you know, give myself a reminder, make sure I'm not busy or something, and then I would be able to buy the knife. But one thing about the TRM Atom and the TRM Neutron is the lockups on them. Like, they had absurdly thin blade stocks, like way thinner than this, definitely under 100,000. If you've seen a review on them, you know how thin those blade stocks are. But since the blade stock's so thin, the width of the blade is so thin, so the tang of this lock is just very narrow. And it was like, I could just see it moving over so fast, and it was just kind of concerning, like how it was built. And also another thing about TRM, if you guys have noticed this, I'm interested in the company because, you know, made in America, they make very EDC based knives, but their knives are not ground very thin, especially for how thin their stocks are. Like, the bevels on them, I've seen this on other videos, but I think at one of the shadows I saw, I believe it was Jared from Neves Knives, his review, it was in the mid 20,000s behind the edge. And like, with that thin of a stock, I mean, that thing should be like 10,000s behind the edge. This is about 13, 14, 15,000s behind the edge, which is awesome. I'm really excited to use this. This Malibu, I don't know, it's a little bit thicker, not my favorite. ProTech, you just need to grind your knives thinner. I think everyone would agree, and this is not a knife that anyone's using for hard work, so it would be appreciated. But that's why I didn't get the Atom or the Neutron. They had a titanium shadow, which looked really good. I believe Stasa won that, and I actually saw Stasa there. I didn't say hi because it was like I was walking by, he was walking by, and then after he walked by, I was like, oh, that sounds like Stasa. And I remember seeing one of his videos where he shows his face, and I was like, oh, that was Stasa. So I didn't see him again after that, but I would have liked to say hi. I just, you know, didn't really have the chance. But that was cool seeing people that you know, seeing Anthony Marifone, Tim Reeve, the ProTech owner, Michael Martin. It was really cool meeting these guys and, you know, meeting some of the owners of your favorite knife companies. I really like that about Blade Show, and it's just kind of a different experience. I saw Sal Glesser. He was in a mob of people, so I didn't get to say hi to him, but that was really cool. Or, no, it was Eric. It was Eric and Sal were both there. I believe Eric's the younger one, right? I always get this confused, but it was cool to see them, you know. I mean, I know these people aren't really celebrities, but for someone who surrounds myself with knives so much, it's almost like meeting one of your favorite players if you're at a baseball game or something. So that's all about all I have to say for this video. Overall, I had a good time at Blade Show. It was really neat just to see so many other knife dudes, be able to try out so many random knives. Oh, one company that I want to shout out that was pretty cool was, I actually got their card right here. Jack Wolf Knives. I grabbed one of these things. This is one of the knives that they had. I think Benny, that's his name. I don't know his last name. I feel weird just calling him Benny. But follow him on Instagram. Follow Jack Wolf Knives on Instagram. And it was cool seeing some of the knives that they had there. They were just prototypes, so you couldn't buy them. But they are made by Riot. They're slip joints, and they seemed pretty good. They seem to be nice slip joints, kind of like GECs, but they're using titanium, M390, things like that. So I think the slip joint world will really enjoy those. Sorry, I can't talk right now. But there were a lot of other companies that really, it was cool to see them, the ones I'd never seen. There probably are more that I need to shout out that I just that I'm just not remembering right now. But that's all I got for today. Expect these first impressions videos coming out soon. I plan on doing a sharpening video with this because it's 20 CV and I want to see how it feels on the sharpening stones, and this one also 20 CV, and I'd like to see how that feels too. But that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Sorry if I was just kind of not doing anything with my hands here. I was just kind of rambling, having diarrhea of the mouth with the camera. So yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.